this is old hat for you, but I imagine you still get a little jingly about remembering your moments in the water and what your friends are now going to be doing.
Absolutely. I'm so excited and so thrilled to see the Orion capsule land right here in our Bay of San Diego, where so many of us work every day.
And you know people that are going to be part of this, going in the water to get the astronauts?
Yes, I do. I have quite a few friends that are out here. I wish them all Godspeed. Hope come back with no smashed fingers and no smashed toes, and happy and successful.
I suspect, and tell me if I'm wrong, but be selected to be part of this rescue or recovery effort is a primo assignment, and you have to feel really good if you're chosen.
Absolutely. If you're training for this, if you're going down to the neutral buoyancy lab and you're training and you've done this workup for so many months, this is your moment. This is your time to shine. So any kind of operation like this has to be handled with absolute precision and control. Safety is always paramount, and yeah.
All right, walk me through how it's going to play out.
Well, any kind of vessel that's floating in the water, you absolutely want to approach it with caution. It might be smart to do a lap around the vessel, check out the buoyancy, check out how it's sitting in the water. Not only that, are there chemicals? Is there exhaust? Is there some kind of propellant or any kind of thing that could hurt somebody once they're in the water? Once that sheen is cleared, you want to make sure it's stable. I know that there's a sort of a curtain and something that add buoyancy and stability. So before you tie up to that vessel and have sailors board it, you want to make sure that it's deemed safe.
And what we're dealing with, it's not like there's going to be a big sliding door that you can go in. We're talking about a hatch, and we're talking about 4 people who have been in limited gravity. So their mobility is not, their strength and mobility and endurance is not what you would normally get from these 4 people, right?
No, and that's the exact same parallel to Navy diving. Is whenever a diver comes out of the water, they're treated as a patient. They're treated as somebody who needs to be observed and needs to be watched. So I can assume that when you open that hatch, if the hatch opens easily, if it's not canted or just damaged in any sort of way, once those brave astronauts come out, they're going to be handled with absolute care. They could be in shock. Who knows what could happen in between re-entry and once they splash down. So it's a great group effort between the U.S. Navy and NASA to get those astronauts out, handle them with care, and get them to a higher custody of medical care so they can be assessed better.
I'm older than you, so I remember, I think it was pre-Apollo. It was the Mercury capsule that started taking on water after splashdown, and divers were, I mean, they saved the astronauts' lives because, let's face it, once it starts taking on water, the chances of surviving that are very limited, right?
Absolutely, and that's another advantage to having Navy divers in the water, is that we're absolutely equipped. If anything goes down, if anything sinks, that we can strap it up, pull it back up, and successfully mitigate that risk.
So what's the most perilous thing? Is it rough seas? I assume if the waves are too rough, they'll just find a different place to splash down, correct? Or is that?
Well, that's a situational awareness thing.
Yeah.
Once that bay door opens and they move on the small boat, how bad are the seas? Is it going to be dangerous to board? Is it going to be dangerous for the occupants inside the capsule to come out? So that's something that you absolutely assess once you start. And I would guess that there's no second chance. If the sea state's bad, they're going to have to figure out a way to mitigate that hazard and safely pull out those occupants.
Boy, and does it? Can you even allow yourself a moment thinking all eyes of the world, not just the country or not just California, the world is watching you work? Does that even creep into your mindset?
I got to be honest, I'm a little jealous.
Really, just for that reason, right?
I'd kind of like to be out there with them, to be quite honest with you, yes.
What does it take to be a good Navy diver?
To be a good Navy diver, you have to be smart. You have to be able to take a step back and look at what's dangerous, and to do things that are absolutely risky, and absolutely, if you make a mistake, it's going to be detrimental, to handle that with calm and precision, and to be able to have calm under pressure.
And just to finish up this conversation where we started, they don't just put on a tank and hop into the water. They've been practicing this over and over, every contingency, for how long?
Absolutely. Every single rig, every single dive, every single scenario for about a 9-month period in dive school. So
there's nothing that's going to, it would be very, the probability of them encountering something they haven't trained for is very unlikely.
Very unlikely. Navy divers know the water very well, and they're very comfortable and suited to be in that environment.
Well, I'll tell you what, I kind of want them to get back let's face it, you can't spike the football until all 4 of those astronauts are safely aboard the Mertha, right?
That's true, but I have pride in our boys.
All right. Hey, thanks. Let's do this conversation again, because there's other things I want to talk to you about. Because you specialize in going down to the bottom and bringing things up, right?
That's right. Yeah, salvage diver.
So it's a whole different kettle of fish. No pun intended.
It's opposite. Yeah, this is falling from the sky. I'm used to pulling things up from the bottom, so it's a contrast there.
All right. Well, we appreciate your expertise, and like you, we second your thoughts. Let's just get these brave men and women home safely, and then we can stop.
Absolutely.
Throwing back a few. All right, we'll have more Good Morning San Diego in just a bit. We'll talk about President Trump and his latest timeline warning. We'll have that when we come back. You're watching Good Morning San Diego. Time now is 9:28.